Oh boy. So I began this series in February of 2021 with absolutely no thought of a written plot line. The first four episodes of season 1 were whack, and it went something like this. Reverse Fenton appears out of nowhere and causes terror. Artson exists randomly with no question. Gaming Railfanner and his sibling have powers. Random human characters exist. Fenton is quote unquote Reverse Fenton. A military base exists out of nowhere. And a lot more that I'm probably just never going to mention because I probably don't remember. All of this just sounds like crap, and it leaves a lot of plot holes for season 2 and 3. For one, we don't even know who these characters are and where they came from. And two, some of these characters shouldn't have powers. I'm going to explain the beginning, like before season 1. Start off, let's talk about the human characters and a little bit of the railroad. So we have a railroad called the GR Railroad, and its owner's name is Gaming Railfanner. Yes, that's me, in the series. This railroad was founded in 2019. I'm not going to talk a lot about it because it doesn't relate to the video. Anyways, the owner has a sibling who came to visit him but ended up getting dragged into this complication. She managed to leave safely after season 1. Now regarding the other characters, the only characters that should have been actively in season 1 was Alex, DBUI the Gamer, and CSX 3194, also known as ISM. Go subscribe to his channel, damn it. The reason being is because their progression in this series makes sense. The rest should have been visitors that should have left after episode 4. Now let's move on to the Charger characters and the series itself. So we begin before the series starts. Gaming Railfanner wanted special chargers. However, technology wouldn't be a thing for that yet. So that was left as a draft project until a magical being that went by the name of Alameda spotted this railroad and actually appeared. She came from an unknown place, no one knows. She, of course, took the form of an SC-44 Charger and chatted with him. He talked about his draft project and she agreed to help. 2 months went by and the first locomotive was created. We know him as Rex. He was tested a lot and was a success, so production went en masse for 15 more. However, Alameda didn't want to end up making all 15 because she had other stuff to do. She's a freaking magical being, what do you expect? So when the second locomotive was created, she gave it extra powers. We know that locomotive to be Fenton. Fenton was, stupid to say the least, and lazy too. So much so that when he was ordered to aid in making the rest of the order, he ended up making a clone to do it, because he's lazy. That clone had a mind of its own. We know him today as Reverse Fenton. The reason the clone was quote-unquote flipped, or reversed, was because Fenton didn't know what he wanted to clone. He just did it. After Fenton realized his mistake, he fled. At the same time, Artson was made and came out at the same time as Fenton. So this brings us to the beginning of Season 1. To add to this, Rex was also sidelined. That's why we don't see him during Season 1 until Season 1 Episode 5. This is because he fled, thinking he was going to get scrapped, which he was supposed to. But after noticing this, Gaming Railfanner decided not to scrap him when he returned. So now we have a rogue character roaming about. At this time as well, Gaming Railfanner had visitors, and he took them on a trip. However, with Reverse Fenton around, he easily found them and wanted to kill them. He first captured one visitor, which raised concern. Then Reverse Fencer destroyed one of the flagship trains named Orion at the time, which left them stranded in Sky City. They had to wait for a southbound Amtrak train to transport them. They met up with Artson. Gaming Railfinder was supposed to head towards the yard to meet him there and present the visitors his feat. But because of this chaos, the plan was altered. Artson brought them back to Akshan Yard, where Reverse Fencer was there, and they fought. It was almost a loss until another southbound Amtrak train slammed into the back of Reverse Fencer and pushed him into a railgun they had set up. Reverse Fencer didn't die, but he was defeated to the point where he had to leave. During this, he set up a military base to handle them. Artson and the group had to deal with tanks from the base. They almost got destroyed, but Fencer came back and managed to prevent that. They managed to get away, and Fencer talked about what happened. They ended the conversation with even more tanks, which Fencer fended off easily. 2 large tanks appeared and they nearly destroyed Artson. Wait, did I forget to mention that they're brothers? Oh well, they're brothers. Fencer got pissed off and used about 20% of his actual power, which to him felt like 80% as he didn't discover all of his powers. They destroyed the tanks and went back to the yard. A few days later, Aliva appeared. She came from the Midwest after being tested as a jet train over there. She's the only locomotive out of the entire series to be able to have heavy weapons. This was useful as they needed to destroy the base and progressed even more during the series. More tanks appeared and Aliva was the one who destroyed them in seconds. Then they went to destroy more tanks somewhere in Emeryville, California, and then they returned. They finally made plans to destroy the base. Fencer went scouting for it and found it. However, he was spotted and almost destroyed. However, Klee was there and blocked the attack. He was told to leave to not get shot again. Fencer offered for her to come with him, and she agreed. They arrived a few hours later back to the yard. Klee finally realized who he was, as they were once in the Siemens plant together. However, Artson and Fencer came out first. Anyways, they were about to go destroy the military base, but Klee mentioned there was an unknown train shipment keeping the base supplied. If they didn't stop that, then the base would be up and running after they destroy it. They destroyed an overpass leading outside of the GL Railroad at the time, which prevented trains from entering or exiting. Then they went to destroy the base. They didn't instantly destroy it, they had to do it in sections. First the campus, then the factory, then finally the entire thing. After that, the railroad was safe again. After these 4 episodes, that's when everything else plays out perfectly. Rex comes back, they fight off Reverse Fencer, and the rest happens. Well, that's what the series should have been, and where it should have started. I hope you enjoyed this, correction. Honestly, this will probably replace Season 1's Episode 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I'll just rename them to X Season 1 episodes. If you want more info, there's a wiki page I'll be putting in the description. Other than that, that's pretty much the end of the video, so see ya!